Facebook's what's going on, friends, and we're live on Instagram. Hey gang, hope you guys are doing great. Bedros here, and I want to share something with you today, right now. Actually, in the next few minutes, the project is kicking off. In fact, right now they're going through something called the 302, which is 300 repetitions of burpees, crawl outs, and squats with 2 miles of running. But the project is probably the most misunderstood thing that we do. A lot of people want to know, why is the project so difficult, so physically challenging? Is it like a big manly thing? You only have to be this dude who's a jock or an athlete to be able to do the project. And what most people don't realize is the project is anything but that. The project is actually a very emotionally compounding work that we do over 75 hours with the men who attend it. So guys and gals, if you're watching this, welcome. My name is Bedros Keuilian, and I want to talk to you guys about what it takes to be a man and how to be a man, because most dudes, well, they are ill-informed. And so the biggest misconception you hear about being a man is like, man, you got to be an alpha man. You got to beat your chest. And what does an alpha man do? Well, he postures and he drives a Lamborghini and he's got the fancy watches. Hey, listen, I'm all about having wealth and creating multi-millions of dollars. Hell, I own 7 companies and all of them do really, really well, and I'm very blessed for that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that my companies and all the money that I make defines me as a man. I certainly wouldn't say that all the cars and trucks that I have define me as a man. I wouldn't say that the properties that I own and the investments that I make define me as a man. And I wouldn't say that walking around beating my chest would ever define me as a man. So what would define me as a man? Well, how about vulnerability? How about being loving towards my spouse and towards my kids? How about having compassion towards my employees and towards the people that I serve? And how about really showing that soft spot that a man can show, right? How about opening doors for people and saying please and thank you, and when I'm wrong, saying I'm sorry, and well, if I make a bad decision, own up to that bad decision and take ownership of that bad decision, right? But the only way a woman can do that really is if you have done the self-work, if you've done the self-development. And that's kind of the thing that I wanted to talk about right now, actually, as I make myself a wellness shot. Because for the next 75 hours, man, we're going to be awake with these guys. 17 dudes have signed up for this particular project class. This is class 009, and after 9 or 8 classes, I kind of know what works. And for me, what works is keeping my immune system really high. So I've packed in a bunch of sleep, building up to it. I take 3 wellness shots a day. This to me helps keep my immune system strong and keeps me going, because over the next 75 hours there aren't going to be a lot of sleep for any of us, not the instructors, certainly not the candidates going through the project. And even though 17 guys have signed up for it and they're currently going through the 302, those who pass the fitness test will be able to stay and experience the 75 hours. That is the project. But what you guys don't necessarily see on these videos of the project that we put out, because the videos look pretty overwhelming, right? Like, they're in the surf, and Ray Care, the Navy SEAL, is putting them through surf torture at the beach, and Steve, the Marine, is putting them through the mud pit where they're just crawling for just what seems like miles on end in the mud pit with goggles on and their backpacks and their sledgehammers attached to their backpacks. And someone says, "You look older." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. I did grow my beard out for the project, and so maybe there's more grays. But I will tell you that 2020 did make me older, because when you're the CEO of a fitness franchise and 2020 comes and they say gyms can't be operational, you kind of tend to get older. But listen, I still feel like I'm in my 20s. I'll fuck any motherfucker up who wants to step up. But first, I would love you up before I fuck you up. So just know that I've evolved as a man. But thank you. Thank you, Amber Lee, for saying I look great. Listen, man, older is wiser. Someone just said older is wiser, and I appreciate that. And listen, I don't mind getting old, because I was actually telling Connor, who works with us here at HQ, the other day on Saturday, we were all working out together at my gym, BK Strength. And I was telling Connor, I said, hey, man, like, I got some aches and pains. I've, 2 ACL reconstructions, a bicep tear, and all this stuff. But the truth of the matter is, like, I don't care how the vehicle looks. the human consciousness inside. I feel fucking strong. I feel young. I feel connected. And that's really what you're after, right? And I feel more open, vulnerable, and connected to radiance than I've ever been in my life. So anyway, I share that with you guys because it's important to realize that, your human body will fall apart. That's what it's designed to do. It is made of flesh. It is made of earth. But the human consciousness, your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirit, that must thrive and be young, because that is how you live on, correct? So anyhow, about the project, what y'all don't see in the project, because we just don't put it in those sizzle reel videos, is the deep work that we do. Every guy gets a battle book, and that battle book has many different exercises in there where we're doing the deep work and really working through their traumatic life events that took place. We're working through the belief systems that are negative and toxic, that are limiting their growth, that are possibly even causing them to self-sabotage. And could you imagine getting guys together who don't know each other? And most men, let's face it, we're closed off. We don't necessarily want to open up and talk and communicate. We don't necessarily want to have that deep conversation. Most men talk about shallow stuff, right? Like, we'll talk about stuff like, sports teams. How's your sports team doing? How's the weather where you live? What did you do last weekend? Very superficial, shallow conversations. For men to have the deep conversations that are healing, that create vulnerability, requires that they have some bonding. And when you get 17 to 20 men together in an environment where, well, there's going to be some deep conversations about what happened to you as a kid. Maybe you were molested. Maybe you were beaten. Maybe you were physically or mentally abused. Maybe you were raped. Maybe you have a vice, drugs, alcohol, infidelity, whatever. And this thing is just causing damage in your life. Or maybe you're just so tied into work that you feel the guilt when you're at work, that you feel that guilt that you're not with your family. But then when you're with your family, you end up feeling that guilt, and your brain's kind of active about what you could be doing at work. Well, how do you get over all this stuff? It's simple, man. You do the thing called the project, right? You put yourself through suffering, through adversity, through things that are going to create some kind of massive growth, because it is only in suffering that you meet the highest version of yourself. Y'all know this, right? It's in suffering that you meet the highest version of yourself, and it's in suffering that you begin to process through the challenges, the adversities of life that you've had, the traumas, and the negative belief systems. And so we help facilitate that as instructors. That's all we do for the project. And I share this with you because when you've got 17 guys who are there today right now, and I'm about to wrap this up and then go drive to the compound and help lead the project for the next 75 hours, well, we need to put them through the physical suffering. They need to work as a team to get through the evolutions of whether it's pulling the truck, going through the ice bath, running for miles on end. By the way, on average, they put in about 18 miles of running, crawling, hiking, walking. They sleep about an average of 2.5 to 3 hours per night during the project, the 75 hours that is the project. Beach torture is always a fun one. We call it beach torture because even though it's beach fun, when you're hungry, sleepy, tired, cold, wet, and miserable, you really don't know how long Ray, the Navy SEAL, is going to keep you in the water. And if you're in the water for that long, well, guess what? It starts feeling like torture, doesn't it? And at some point, someone's going to ring the bell. Typically, about 25 to 30% of the guys that go through the project end up ringing the bell. And that's okay, too. Not everyone is meant to go through that journey and progress through it. So anyway, all this to say one specific thing to you, which is this. When you are suffering, when you're going through adversity, and you are amongst other men or women, I should say, you need to bond and connect with the people around you so that you can actually have those deep, meaningful conversations and be open and vulnerable during the most meaningful moments of the project. Those are the things that we don't take pictures of. Those are the times that we don't have any videos of. But that's the deep work that takes place at the project. And that's why the men who graduate the project come out fulfilled and work towards fulfilling in those 4 areas that really commit to, which is faith, family, fitness, and finance. And by faith, I don't just mean, their religion. I mean faith in themselves, confidence in themselves, confidence in the people around them, their family, right? Their children, their spouse, the people that they really are there to serve, their finances, their business, getting their financial ducks in order, because money is a vehicle to freedom. Money allows you to buy back your time and serve others. And of course, their fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness, physical fitness. And guess what? When you have those faith, family, fitness, and finances, those 4 F-bombs in line, well, the 5th F-bomb falls in line, which is fulfillment. And that's really what we're after. So again, thank you all. That's right, Victor, the F-bombs, baby. That's what we're all about. So just wanted to let you all know I am off the radar for the next few days for the project. However, I'll be updating in my story. So if you guys want to catch up on what's happening with these 17 guys during the project, who stays, who goes, what kind of evolutions they're going through, I'm going to be updating all that in my stories. So hang out on my stories, and I hope that you guys will kind of join us and just watch their progress throughout that process. It's 75 hours that really ends up getting dragged out for them, but at the end, they are so freaking happy with that experience. So I'll see you guys later. Take care, peace, and hair grease. Bye, guys.